Hey, all the people. We're just getting it set up here for some movement time, some therapeutic movement time, some yoga time. Some tune it in and see what arises time. Yeah. So wherever we are in our seasonal transitions, we could be in a lot of different places. The place where I am now, it's like very officially fall. So cool. We had a couple hard frosts, and that made the apples really sweet. Oh my goodness. Um, the leaves are changing, right? So this northern region where I am really got the signal like it's time, head on in. The colors are emerging, and that's a very also like festive celebratory time. You might be feeling all sorts of things in your body. You might be feeling the celebratory time. You might be feeling the heaviness of grief. You might be feeling the like oh my god, the summer was crazy. Like lots of things could be going on. We're still in a very in between place. So when we ground into our practices and we ground into this body, it's just so helpful. This. So let's bring ourselves into a seated position and allowing for a little bit of breath. Breathing in, and as you exhale, a little melting, resting, sinking, settling. I think that's the word I'm looking for. What are you feeling in this body at this time? It's a changeable moment, a changeable season. What might you be feeling in the body right now? And let's also hold space for combinations of feelings, not one thing, contradictory patterns. It's breathing into the moment, meeting ourselves where we are. Welcome to new friends in the space. Lovely to have you. Take one more of these centering breaths. Our intention or sankalpa in our practice here. This is therapeutic movement. So we're exploring all sorts of different modes of therapeutic movement, ways of juicing the joints, increasing range of motion. Particular focus this fall on the womb space, womb yoga, but it's not like we're just a walking pelvis. It's a whole body. Let's do the full set Pavanmuktanasana yoga style joint purification practices today. So we'll start actually with the fingers. We're going to make a fist with the thumb on the inside, give a squeeze, and then a flex of the fingers. Shoulders want to be relaxed down away from the ears. If a couple shoulder rolls would be helpful. At any time, always space for spontaneous movement, right? So the spontaneous arising movement. Let's make that fist with the thumb inside, and now we're wrists up and down. In the yoga context, these are preparatory practices, preparing the body for pretzel twisting. More importantly, preparing turn inwards to observe the body. Same thing. Thumbs are on the inside. Now we're into circles. Are there sounds? Pop, 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 crack, 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 crack. Some haunted house sounds, goes with the season. But as we get into the windier part, we're still in the earthy part of autumn because it's the in between. But oh, some of you might be north enough, plains enough that you're starting to get the wind of autumn. That's when we really need to err on the side of warmth. Keep the body nice and warm. Keep these wind points, vital points, so around the waist, around the neck, nice and warm. We get wind invasion, we get sick. Good times. All right, did you take it out? Okay, make a flat palm. So now everything's flexed up and down. So to finish that thought, we get a little increase popping in the joints, wind expression in the body. That could also be things like ticks and flutters and spasms. Yeah, all sorts of wind afflictions. Air on the side of warm. Get those sweaters out. Where's those cowls? Oh yeah, I got a cowls collection. Yeah, see if you can keep the palms flat on the way down. Like maybe the palm wants to get a little rounded. Nice. Shake it out. Make a fist with the thumb on the inside. These are elbow circles. Not the easiest joint to exercise because of its design. You could, if it feels good, give a little shake on the way out. There's a version of Pavanmuktanasana that's rather dynamic with lots of shaking. Let's go the opposite direction. Shrug the shoulder. Shake it. Small shoulder circles. Start relaxing those facial muscles with a gentle smile. Just relaxing the jaw, wiggling the jaw. Opposite direction. Shrug the shoulders again. Make shoulder blades move up and down, under the armpits, shake it out. These are big shoulder circles tracing with elbows. They go up and back and down. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, taking in the opposite direction. Inhale. Almost like you're going to bring the elbows together. Tune into the jaw. Anywhere can be more relaxed. Nice. We're back in the center and we're shrugging. And we're shaking. Shrug and shake. Nice. The neck is so ready. Let's do flexion extension. So chin towards the chest. Inhale, chin towards the sky. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Move slowly. Move at the pace that works for you. We're going to come back to the center. Very simple rotation to left and right. Any differences of the two sides? Let's go ear to shoulder. Relax the jaw, mouth slightly open. Let's bring it back to the center, tuck the chin, and roll up to a shoulder, down to the middle, over to the opposite shoulder. That's inhale, exhale. Oh, another great place to relax the jaw. Be aware this movement doesn't suit every neck. If there's deterioration at C4, C5, this one is contraindicated. Back to center, picking up the head. Just feel neck, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers. And let's take a twist. Inhale in the center. Exhale, bring one arm across. Your back hand is behind fingertips, palm, hand on a block, turning towards the space behind you. Breathe. Nice breath in. Exhale. Inhale in the center. Exhale. Backhand pushes the chest forward or light fingertips, turning towards the space behind you. So what we want to avoid is leaning back for the twist. Want to be nice and upright. Take a breath in. Exhale back to center. And let's stretch the legs. Hands come behind, fingers spread wide. Make a few windshield wipers. Wiggle the legs. Did the legs fall asleep at all? Are we waking things up? Just like we started. So, a couple options. A little bit lean back, more like fingertips. Could be, so sometimes people's wrists, they can't take any weight bearing at all. You could do fists as well, a little bit more upright or a little bit more slouchy. Just like we started with the fingers, you're going to squeeze the toes and then flex the toes. Squeeze the toes. Flex between each of the toes. So sometimes you have to like look at the toes and love on them a little. Like coax them. So we gotta like give one a little wiggle. You can do it. You can separate from one another and lengthen. Let's do one more. And flex and point. Nice stretch on the backs of the legs and that flex, meaning feel the backs of the legs. And we make circles in the same direction. Circles in the opposite direction. Nice. Separate the feet a little, not very wide. And these are circles in opposites. And feel how the hip is moving around, rotating in the socket. And let's switch. Nice. Shake it out. Once you labor, some wiggles. Oh, that's feeling good. Nice. Moving to the knees. We're going to squeeze the quadricep muscles. And when you squeeze those muscles, it pulls the kneecap up and down. So squeezing the quadricep muscles, the way that they attach at the knees, pulls the kneecap up and down. And then we go on doing this movement. That cartilage in the knee, it sits in a sac of lubricating fluid, but it doesn't have blood vessel. It's not innervated. The design is when it's squeezed like a sponge, it soaks up the lubricating fluid. So here we're just like squeezing like a sponge, squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing. Moving fluid around in the knee joint, strengthening and stabilizing knees. Yeah, this is a really amazing therapeutic movement for the knees. It's not the easiest joint, just like elbows. It's not the easiest joint. So sometimes when we do the standing version, we do like a circles kind of thing. And that's not my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite. And then I also really listen in for how by contracting the quadricep muscles, that opposing relationship with the hamstring. So there's just this interplay of like expansion and contraction, moving fluid and fluid filled spaces. It's nearly passive, right? You could try them a little faster. That's when you're in the knee torque zone. Torque them knees. Cool. Do some windshield wipers and feel the knee joint. What feels different? What feels different at those attachment sites at the knee, back of the knee for the hamstring, top of the knee for the quadriceps? Like I'm feeling, oh, I got some tension around my tailbone today because we've been doing more and more hiking. Those glutes getting tight. So now I'm just doing like little like bum wiggles just to get a little fluid flowing around in there. Nice. Shake out the wrists a little. We're coming up towards the hips, and this whole practice is also very helpful for cultivating a comfortable seated meditative posture. So we've got some things that start working us into the necessary range of motion for lotus pose, actually. So what we're going to do is pick up the right leg. You could hold this leg from the outside. You could bring this arm from the inside. You're holding this leg up. And what we want to do is feel circles in the hip. Try the opposite direction. Right, are we sitting up straight? No, we're a little bit rounded. It's natural. Nice, we're back in the center. So we've got some options here. We could hold, you could bring this foot like crease of the wrist, crease of the elbow, and now rocking side to side. Breathing, always tuning into the jaw. Holding. Now from here, half lotus, whatever's available to you today. Drawing this foot towards the crease of the thigh, easing down towards the floor. Maybe a little dynamic movement. And holding. Slowly releasing. So when we're doing that half lotus, go ahead and make some windshield wipers and do some knee pull-ups. And pause and feel the difference between the two legs. Right? Just see what we're doing, that comparative process. Let's try left leg, or whichever is the other leg. So we pick that leg up. Maybe we brought that arm from the inside, and we're starting in with circles. And circles in the opposite. Are you feeling heat releasing in the body? Opening of the pores. That is one of the features of this set of movements. We're cradling and rocking. Keep breathing. And now we hold, give a little snug in. Nice breath in. Exhale, wherever your half lotus is today. What I wanted to say on the other side is ideally, both hips are on the floor. So we're not going to compromise to get this knee to the floor, that we pick up that opposite hip. So a little interplay there. And then dynamic movement through the joint, if that feels good. Doesn't feel good, definitely skip it. Holding. Nice breath in. Exhale. Slowly release. Windshield wipers. Knee pull-ups. Are things feeling any looser? Okay. Butterfly pose. Soles of the feet pressed together. And there's lots of options here. We could be closer in. Feet could also be farther out. Like, feel free to play. Sometimes I just really enjoy like a really wide. We're gonna do a little pelvic tilting from here. Classic womb yoga. Maybe holding at the ankles. Inhale, hips tilt forward. Exhale, tailbone tucks under gently. Feels like today my tailbone only wants a very gentle tuck under, if any. So listening in. Using my breath, micro movement. Last week's practice, we worked really from the inside out, right? Today we're sort of from the outer limbs, distal points in. That's fun. Arriving here to the pelvic floor, pelvic floor. Let's make circle. But should have that tilt. Hips tilt forward, tailbone tucks under. We'll get some sounds. Relax the jaw. Come back up to the jaw, tune in. Let's go opposite direction. So this isn't just like from the chest. This circle wants to be from the base of the pelvic ball. Holding in the center. Taking a forward fold, whatever that forward fold looks like for you. Maybe we're opening the feet like a book. Taking a big breath in On exhale a little bit forward, we could lead with elbows. We could do just classic fire face stretch. Elbows lead. And we breathe. Next inhale. Back up to center. Stretching both legs. Make windshield wipers. Again with the bum. uh-huh. Another pelvic tilt womb yoga type move. Knees are bent, and you can kind of decide how close you are. Just enough to, so I'm holding kind of at the below my knees and the insides of my calves, and a little pelvic tilting from here. And exhale. I like how this one gets right at those groin attachments. Are you feeling heat? Warm? Opening of the pores. Nice. Go ahead and stretch to wide leg and reach around. Feel free to move any flesh out of the way. We're right on those sits bones. We're going to take feet are gently flexed. Turn to the right. Take a big breath in. Exhale a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just greeting. Backs of the legs, hamstrings, groins, inner thighs. Oh, good morning. Next, inhale back up. Exhale over to the left side. Go about the same distance that you went on the right side. Feel free to bend the knees at any point in time. Soften. Let's bring that back up. We're in the center here. Big breath in. Exhale a little to the middle. And in our wood face stretches. Don't hesitate to add a little movement. Sometimes I like to just do a little side to side rocking here. One thing about this feels so good right now. Just taking a couple breaths. I'm not narrating for your body, just my own. Nice. We're going to walk it back up to the center and do a little side bending from here. Let's do the rest of that wood face. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, bring the right arm inside. So one option's on top of the thigh, another option's just to the inside. Get that little leverage rotation. Heart towards the sky. So I'm not bending that far to the side. I'm really more focused on this rotation through my trunk, my chest opening, as opposed to collapsed forward. And my body's like doing all sorts of interesting internal adjustments right now. Now I might give a little bit more emphasis to that side bend, and I'm just going to do a little like sweeping motion here. Inhale, little rotation, and then here, allowing for this delicious stretch of the side of the neck. Sweep in front, rotate open, and then kind of straighten the head, like looking more outwards, and let the arm come down and just oof. Get that stretch on the side of the neck. Still in the gallbladder fascia here. The whole of the side body. The way we are approaching movement here is to allow the body to soften. I'm not pushing a stretchy agenda. And I think that's where really most yoga asana approaches get it wrong. It's just too forceful. And then that might work for our bodies in their teens and 20s. And it'll get you through halfway the 30s. But once this fabulous body stops producing collagen and starts moving towards other very much drier paradigms, your body does not want to move in a forceful, stretchy way. It wants to get juiced and then allowed to be open. You know, I just saw an article, doctors like, actually, your heart would probably prefer just a little moderate exercise. Just, not this like, we've got to exercise ourselves into, yeah. Oh, lo and behold, moderation. Well, while we've been pausing here thinking about maybe moderation is the way, what are you feeling on the two sides? Right? What does that side body fascia feel like? Did we invite something in, or is there a place that's like, I'm holding on for dear life? Not yet. We're listening. Breathing in, stretching up, opposite side. We might get a different story on the opposite side, listening in. I don't think we always have to figure out the why. Sometimes we do. But just in this moment, be in the breathing, and then let's enjoy a few of these sweeps. Rotate open and delicious traction of side of neck. I love me some self-therapy. This morning I was doing some self-metta meditation, a la the grief series. And I noticed this physical phenomenon in my body where heart opening was being somehow prevented by tightness or blockage in the throat. That was so interesting to then love on the throat in order to open the heart. And I could have gone down an interpretive path. Oh, what is it? Oh, speaking your truth. But I really don't appreciate how much the throat gets pathologized. Oh, and then you're not speaking your truth. Oh, you've been silent. It can't just be that. I don't find those narratives helpful as somebody who experiences a lot of throat chakra constriction. So just this type of practice and this way we're practicing just this physical yoga, physical movement practice allows us to apply the same tools in meditation. What is the practice of self-forgiveness? It is softening of the body. And we need that physical reference point. Oh, there it is. Oh, let's bring it on back up. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale all the way down. Wiggle the legs together. Make some windshield wipers. Very simple seated twist with both legs extended. We want hips tilted forward. If there's something under the bum to help us do that, take a nice breath in. And it could be just hands at the knee, or we could be coming all around. Same thing with that back hand. Pushing the chest forward. This is the start of a twist with both legs extended. I forget the name of that twist. However, I found my yoga asana reference book. So I shall refresh myself. But yeah, there's a very deep twist that's done with both legs extended from side body. I know because I actually injured myself once doing this twist, thinking that it wasn't doing anything. Big breath in. Back to center. Inhale and exhale. So let's make sure backhand is pushing the chest forward. Also, I love a twist where I can work on the shoulder being down, nothing like up at my ears. Take a nice breath in, come back to the center. Let's say that was the joint practice. Go ahead, come back to Sukhasana, easy pose, and just feel heat, warmth, flow, tingling, openness, and openness of the pores. Literally a feeling into the Wei Qi. I think it would behoove us to do a couple of gentle back bends from the belly. That's what my tailbone said. Coming on to the belly. Legs are together for the most part. Really depends on the shapes of your legs. Hands are by the sides of the body. Baby cobra. A gentle easing. Belly into the floor, lifting with upper back muscles. Rolling the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together. We take that big breath in, exhale down. When the forehead comes to the floor, let everything rest and traction and lengthen. Take a breath. A couple of times we're going to do that. Belly pushes into the floor, lifting up, rolling the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Glutes are totally relaxed. Legs are as relaxed as they can be. We're just isolating really lats, upper back muscles in the effort. Breathe between the vertebra in the in-between. 2 more times. Inhale. Roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Are they moving a little bit downwards from the ears? Exhale down. Keep that neck so long in the pose. You don't have to look up. You could look outwards. You could look downward just to find the right alignment for your neck today. Breathing in. Exhale all the way down. Stretch the arms forward. Half locust pose. We're going to lift right arm and left leg, couple inches up and down. Try flexing the foot, stretching or tractioning out of the hip socket before you lift. Don't have to lift very high. Flex. Like somebody's pulling the heel out of the socket. Beautiful length. And we lift and exhale down. 4 more to each side. Inhale as you lift. Exhale down. Beautiful strength work. Balancing in the brain. Lovely. 1 more to each side. Take a breath with the forehead on the floor. Breathe in between each of the spinal vertebra. Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders, pushing into the floor, lifting up. Oh, that feels amazing. Same thing with the head here, right? Sometimes I get pressure in the occiput. It doesn't feel good to push up so high or push my head up so high. We could hang out here. We could come into crocodile pose. It's easier to hold. Elbows come under. Chin rests into the hands. This is a beautiful therapeutic back bend. I just felt some openness through my tailbone. This is a pose that is super supportive of reproductive organs. And like any of these resting poses from the belly, we slowly cultivate the length of the hold. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even 15 minutes with incremental growth. And that sort of past that 5 minute mark, ooh, we are getting into some very delicious therapeutic activity. My jaw, my occiput, back of the head where the head meets the neck, doesn't always love this alignment. The chin resting into the hands. So sometimes the poses can work for us. Let's recognize when they're not, modify or adopt an alternative. Nice breath in. Exhale, walk the elbows forward. Have a little stretch in neutral spine. Reversed corpse. And pushing ourselves up and back into child's pose. You could use hands. You could use elbows. You could wiggle a little on the way back to child's pose. Slowly making our way up and down onto our backs. Let's finish up with some fun things from here. So first thing, go ahead, draw the knees in towards the chest, give the legs a hug. Circles around, holding at the knees. Circling around. Let the knees move away from you and then in towards the chest. Switch direction. Let's enjoy a little rocking side to side. Breathing. Back in the center. Go ahead, keep the right knee in. Left leg stretches onto the floor. Hands clasped around the knee, both feet are flexed. Pavanmuktanasana. There's that word again. That's what we call the joint practices, but that's also just simply what we call wind releasing. Wind releasing. Yes, we're doing these. It's so essential for once we get into windy autumn. This needs to be a daily practice. For the more physical winds. And then we bring that internal, oh gosh, so many things. Then there's the kriyas, the cleansing practices, there's the food. Everything turns towards this emphasis on wind release. Go ahead, stretch that leg out. If that feels good, you can also just bring the foot on the floor. Oh, yeah, left leg. He draws in towards the chest. Flex both feet. Feel nice lengthening out of the socket with your extended leg. Oh, and we breathe. Check in with the neck. The neck is loose as it could be. And even though we've got the upper body engaged, can we be relaxed? What is the wind releasing that this pose is referencing? It's wind in the colon and large intestine. So yeah, this is a pose that can make you toot. Stretch the arms overhead. Big stretch in the body. Some happy baby variations here. So just starting with left foot on the floor, and we could grab even the outside of the right foot and just bring this leg into the alignment of happy baby pose. You can play around with that a little, just kind of moving. This opposite hip wants to stay pretty grounded, so maybe that arm out to the side would be helpful as well. As we ease this knee towards the floor. So just play around with that range of motion. And let's try the opposite side. Playing, moving, breathing. Thinking about tractioning out of that hip. Nice, we're back in the center here, playing with happy baby pose. So I'm at the outer edges of my feet for some reason, playing around with rocking. But then I'm gonna come to the inner edges, which is the traditional alignment of the pose. And I'm playing with rocking. Breathing. Holding in the center. Hands press into feet, feet press into hands. Bring the feet into the center like a butterfly pose. And start to play around with guiding the feet towards the head. Or bringing the feet in towards the chest, using the elbows to push outward. Also possible to bring the arms from the outside in and to start moving towards Yoli Maya. Picking the head up, tucking the chin, moving the feet towards the head. We could widen that. And stretch the legs up into the air. And wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Coming down. Stretch the leg. Little bit of wiggles and windshield wiper. Take a breath in between. Single leg twist, arms out to the side. We're gonna bend the right knee first, bring this to the outside, turn the head in the opposite direction, take a couple breaths. Your head and knee come to center. Exhale across the butt, turning towards the space behind you. So many variations. Pick the one that's really comfortable. Foot tucked behind the knee, foot across the body, hand on the knee. Really do try to bring that right shoulder, if you're twisting with the right leg, right shoulder towards the floor. Turning the head in the opposite direction. Inhale back to center. And exhale, release. We're going to do the opposite leg. Inhale. Exhale to the outside. Turn the head in the opposite direction and just feel this opening through groin region. Inhale, head and knee to center. Exhale across the body. Turning in the opposite direction. And keeping in mind we might have radically different experiences on the two sides of the body. Next, inhale back to center. And let's find a restful position. Is that Shavasana? Are the knees bent? Do you have something close by that you could throw underneath the knees? Just a moment, just a little pause. Feel to tune in this therapeutic movement style. We sprinkle our rest throughout the practice, but it would still be absolutely delicious to have a shavasana or to do a complete practice of yoga nidra following. If you find yourself exactly where you need to be and to just melt into that rest, strongly encourage. If you're ready to get up and zing into the next part of your day, that's cool too. We're gonna call this practice complete for the day. And I thank you very much for being here and practicing and attending. And I will see you guys next week, same time for this movement practice and 80 times in between. Refreshing. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.